Wind up the key and that'll cut the top off of the can slick and smooth. Notice how the end raises itself up in the air so you can lift the lid off, giving you a clean, smooth edge. Now that can be used for sardine cans, square cans or round cans, exactly the same way. Now this tool here, my dear friends, needs no introduction. This will save you on an average of $20 to $30 every year you use it as a peeling knife. Here's a grater for cheese, coconut, or horseradish, a fish scaler for scaling your fish, and when you're coring your apple, it's just a slight twist of the wrist, and there's the apple core. There's one more tool that I want you to see, and I want you to watch this one very closely. Many a times when you're baking a pie, you have a pudding in the oven. I've seen ladies wrap a towel around your hand, and many a times you burn your fingers. Hook this onto the pot like this and lift the hot pots off the top of the stove. You've got a pie pan in the oven. Get your hold of the pie pan like this. Why, you couldn't get it off with a team of horses. This will positively lift 100 pounds. There's a pail of water weighs 50 or 60 pounds. That's the way you pick it up. But there's one more tool. I'll be all through and I'll be finished. Oh, now the next tool and the last one is what they call the Sarah Bernhardt cutter. This was invented by the head chef of the Imperial Hotel in the city of Berlin, Germany. You place the screw into the center of the vegetable. Twist the vegetable until the threads catch a hold, then you wind this up. You keep winding until you utilize the whole potato. The faster you turn, the quicker the slices. Why, ladies, here's a machine for slicing onions. The first onion that you slice with this cutter, you'll bless the day you've got a hold of it. Every slice cut exactly the same thickness. Every slice cut the same size. In making what they call a rosette, pull the vegetable out like this. Pin the ends together with a toothpick. Drop that potato into the hot fat and fry it. That will come out like a donut, golden brown. If you're serving a nice fish dinner, a little parsley goes in the center with the fish all around it, makes a very appetizing dish. Did you ever try to slice onions with a knife? You know how you get one thick slice and one thin slice? Run the knife through the center. That will separate each slice individual. Almost like magic, there is every slice cut exactly the same thickness and the same size. Wouldn't you like to have a set like this in your kitchen? Why, of course you would. Now don't forget, attend this theater every week and receive this 12-piece fascinating... Ladies and gentlemen, the management of this theater takes great pleasure in making this announcement. To each lady attending this theater each week, will receive absolutely free a fascinating 12-piece kitchen cutlery set, one piece each time. It is really interesting and amazing to know how you can prepare your meals in an appetizing and pleasing manner. There's an old saying, and a true one, that what is pleasing to the eye is bound to be pleasing to the appetite. I'm going to demonstrate this set to you, and I want you to watch it very closely. The first cutter that I'm going to show you, now this first one is known as the Parisian cutter. Wind it through the potato like a corkscrew. When the cutter appears on the opposite side, pull the cutter out. Place the handle in the center and twist it out. This is what they call a French curl. When you fry these, they come out like donuts, nice and brown. Serve them with your steaks or pot roast them. Unwind it, there's two curls out of the one potato. Tomorrow morning for breakfast, wind a little strip of bacon around the potato and serve them with bacon and eggs. They're delicious. different colored vegetables, wind them together, and you get the two colors. Here's a little trick cut. Split the curl halfway through the center. If you're making a shrimp salad and you happen to run short of shrimp, mix these in with the regular shrimp. Upon my word, you couldn't tell the difference until you start to eat 'em. Now the rest of the potato, you stuff it. We'll call this a little chicken. We'll call this here some hamburger. You might have a little meat that's been laying in the ice box for a few days. Chop the meat up fine, season it highly, stuff it into the center of the potato and bake them with the skins on. When they're done, cut them in two. Serve them on the half shell just like that. Serve them in slices when company calls. The more company you have, the thinner you cut the slices. If your mother-in-law calls, give her a beak piece like that. Now the second tool in the set is known as the garnishing knife. Everything you cut with this must come out fancy. Watch this, please. You cut down, you turn the potato, and then you cut through the edge. First one way and then the other. Sweet potatoes cut like this. Drop them into a little batter of pancake flour and fry them. When they're golden brown, sprinkle molasses on them. Serve them with strips of bacon for breakfast while they're delicious. Here's beets, you pickle them, and carrots, you steam or cream them. In making the original French fried potato, cut them in thick slices. Put them one on top of each other. Cross-cut the slices, and you'll never eat a French fry any other way. The potatoes cut like this will not absorb the fat because they're garnished around. Pineapples cut for your pineapple and cheese salad, cut them the same way. Here is one, and this is a dandy. Cuts any thickness or any size. Open it for a thick slice, close to the top for a thin slice. Saratoga chips, you can make them for 3 or 4 pennies a pound. Just pull the blade towards you like this. If you want the slices thicker than this, open the blade, there's a thick slice. Shoestrings for your Friday fish dinner, cut them down like this. Chop them up for your vegetable soup. What this knife is really intended for is for cutting the cabbage. You know the old-fashioned board, how you rip and tear, sometimes nipping the ends off your fingers. Lay it flat and pull it lightly towards you over the cabbage. The weight of the knife across the cabbage is all that's necessary. Why, ladies, when you get slaw cut as fine as this, you'll certainly appreciate eating it. The crowning feature of the set is the cutter that I'm going to show you now. This is known as the Champeen Vegetable Mincing Knife and Noodle Cutter. Now, when you want to make some real fine noodles at home, you roll the dough out like this. Dip this into a little flour so it doesn't stick to the dough, and as you roll it over the dough, that will cut the noodles in long strips, 10 at a time. Did you ever try to chop up a little nuts for cake? Why, I've seen ladies chop nuts and the nuts land up on the ceiling. Sometimes you chop the ends off your fingers. When you want to chop up a little nuts for cake, cooked meat, clams for chowder, soup greens to throw into your soup, making a little pepper or chicken hash is just a few strokes rolling it up and down. Why, here is without a doubt the meanest thing in the world to cut parsley. Put that in a grinder, you really grind it too fine. This machine, instead of crushing the parsley, cuts it quick, clean, and dry, leaving every bit of the juice and every bit of the flavor. Now, to clean this machine, you press the button. Rinse it out in a little water. When you're through using it, hang it up and let it dry. Here's one here that every lady should have in her home, known as the Parisian scoop. You lay it flat. Once to the right, once to the left. When you scoop them out, you'll get a perfect round little ball. You can pot roast these. Cut them out of cheese or cut them out of butter. When you're serving a fruit cocktail in the summertime, take your fresh cantaloupe, scoop them out like this, mix them with apples, pears, and watermelons, makes a delicious fruit cocktail served with a little cracked ice like you see here. But here is a tool, ladies, if you ever do get it, you'll thank the day you've seen this demonstration. When you press, it locks. It's like a pair of human hands. Reach in the oven and take the biscuits out of the oven. Ever take the hot potatoes out of the oven and burn yourself on the elbow? A roast chicken out of the oven, a piece of meat out of the pot, spinach, asparagus out of the water. Why, around canning season when you're preserving the fruits, to take the hot fruit jars out of the water like that, that machine is worth dollars to you. And here's another one that I really know you'll enjoy having in your kitchen, known as the safety grater. No doubt you're familiar with the old-fashioned grater. I've seen ladies take a grater and rip the knuckles off. When you want to grate up potatoes for delicious potato pancakes, this has a smooth, flat edge, impossible to cut yourself. Just like you were washing clothes, you rub it up and down, and you really grate your vegetables real fine, retaining all the flavors and all the juices. Breadcrumbs for when you're serving veal cutlets or anything like that. You want a little breadcrumbs to fry your fish in? Why, there's the greatest proposition in the world. Use that for coconut, cheese, or horseradish. When you're through with it, just hit it down like that. That knocks all the food out. Rinse it out in a little water and hang it up and let it dry. Now, here is a stone made of carborundum and sapphire quartz, which is made purposely to keep these knives sharp. When they get dull, a few strokes over the edge like this, and you can put a keen cutting edge on it. If you have a dull knife or a dull pair of scissors, an old sickle or a scythe, a lawnmower, cleaver, an axe, there's a tool that will really put an edge on the knife so the knife will really cut for you. I just want to give you an idea of how sharp that knife really is when you sharpen it with that stone. Ladies, I've seen some of you try to open up cans. Now, there's a can of Campbell's baked beans. I've seen ladies open up a can and you poke a hole in it, go around the top, hippity-hop, and your finger slips. Let me show you a real proposition. Look, lay it on the can, lift up the safety, and turn the key. That locks itself on the can. No harder than you were winding up your watch. Wind up the key and that'll cut the top off of the can slick and smooth. Notice how the end raises itself up in the air so you can lift the lid off, giving you a clean, smooth edge. Now that can be used for sardine cans, square cans or round cans, exactly the same way. Now this tool here, my dear friends, needs no introduction. This will save you on an average of $20 to $30 every year you use it as a peeling knife. Here's a grater for cheese, coconut, or horseradish, a fish scaler for scaling your fish, and when you're coring your apple, it's just a slight twist of the wrist, and there's the apple core. There's one more tool that I want you to see, and I want you to watch this one very closely. Many a times when you're baking a pie, you have a pudding in the oven. I've seen ladies wrap a towel around your hand, and many a times you burn your fingers. Hook this onto the pot like this and lift the hot pots off the top of the stove. You've got a pie pan in the oven. Get a hold of the pie pan like this. Why, you couldn't get it off with a team of horses. This will positively lift 100 pounds. There's a pail of water weighs 50 or 60 pounds. That's the way you pick it up. But there's one more tool. I'll be all through and I'll be finished. Oh, now the next tool and the last one is what they call the Sarah Bernhardt cutter. This was invented by the head chef of the Imperial Hotel in the city of Berlin, Germany.
Evening, everyone. How we doing today? National Bagel Day. So we're going to be doing bagels tonight. Going to get started with the dough since it's going to take at least an hour here to at least just proof this. So probably 2-hour stream tonight, maybe a little bit longer. We'll see. I'm going to do bagels a couple of different ways. I think I'm going to do about 8 bagels. And the plan is I think I want to do 4 everything, 2 of them cinnamon raisin, and 2 of them just sort of plain. Or am I forgetting oh, yes. I am forgetting a third type. Caramelized onion. So we're going to do raisin, caramelized onion, and everything seasoning. Going to start off with getting our proofing going. We're going to need a little over 300 milligrams of water, or milliliters, which I'm going to measure by grams. It's just under 300 grams. And this is, let's see if I can get some more water out of my sink here. Oh, that's right. Anyways, I'm not going to worry about 1 gram. Oh, come on, you hit some hotter water earlier. You see, this is the problem when I do my dishes ahead of time in the stream. I have to wait for the water to be hot during the stream. So how is everyone tonight? I saw we have a couple of regulars in here early. Glad to have all you. You can't see what's going on there. There we go. There we go. Just under 300 grams of water. I could. But that was still quicker than probably heating it on the stove. Sugar and yeast. Doing our starter here. Nice, Leo. What are you making tonight? I'll need this for the flour a little bit later here. Actually, why don't we get going with our flour while we're waiting on that to proof up a little bit here. There we go. Zero that out. And we're going to use this stuff tonight. The whole wheat flour. Steaks with a guava sauce. It's been a while since I've had guava. Actually, it's been quite a while since I've had steak with sort of a fruity base other than like tomato. That sounds sort of nice. I could go for that right now. Maybe a little. You got me craving a little like Hawaiian food going on now. Well, I say Hawaiian and it wouldn't be real Hawaii. Let's not get into that. I don't even remember where that was. I used to go to a restaurant at some point that was sort of like a family-run little like mall outlet joint that had a whole Hawaiian like theme. Although none of the food, now that I think back on it, really has nothing to do with Hawaiian cuisine. They were just using this Hawaiian theme. And so that's why I was going to that. They had things like steak with like pineapple and fond memory of some point in my life that I don't even remember fully. Let's see how we're good there. Nice. Okay, we got 500 grams of flour. Bit of salt. Also sort of reminds me of I don't know if the name of that place either anymore. There's one place that I went to at one point where you'd pick up a whole bunch of veggies, like fruity and islandy type stuff, a little more international flair than local based, and raw meat, and they'd mix it all up for you and cook it all for you. Let's see, we got all that done. Good. So we're good on our flour. We're obviously good on our yeast. You look at our yeast here. If you've been watching that here. That is certainly happy and a bit foamy there. But we're going to give that another couple minutes here. Actually, we're going to wait until our battle's ready and view that, and then we'll mix this all together. While we're waiting on this to proof, once we mix this all together, do a little kneading action, we're going to set this aside to proof, and then going to get into, I'm going to do some pickled onion, and I'm going to do some caramelized onion, pickled onion, so that we can do some cream cheese lox and pickled onion. That's the hope for one of the types of bagels tonight. Also got some cheap pastrami that I don't know if it's going to work out all right. I tried some of it yesterday, and it wasn't the greatest quality. I don't know if we'll go with this or not for that, but yesterday was National Pastrami Day. or pastrami sandwich day, or hot pastrami sandwich day, something along that line. Hey Lexi, how you doing tonight? Welcome in. I saw you talking there and I didn't catch you to say hi. Sorry to do that. And Huberman, how are you? We're just getting started. We've got yeast, sugar, and water, warm water in here. This is all nice and happy, obviously. Got some nice foaming action going on. And then over here we've got weighed bread flour or all whole wheat flour with some salt. And we'll mix these together here in a couple of minutes. How much longer we got until our battle here? Got another 5 minutes till our battle. That'll be just about right for our yeast to hang out. So how is everyone tonight? What's new? What's happening? We've got Leo Zio making what sounds like a great dinner. Balsamic reduction and glaze the onions. Add a piece of guava paste to the ring. Sounds great. Yeah. But steak and fruitiness. Yum yum. I'm sort of I want to figure out some way to do that here in the future now. Probably won't do that with our Discord vote that's going on right now, which those look like cheese balls is going to win here. If I can get this to show up. There we go. So you guys are very obviously interested in seeing me work with cheese balls. I've actually been thinking about this one a little ahead of time. I normally would try and wait until Monday, but right now I'm sort of thinking like I could probably do the same thing for both of these. But we'll see. I do have some fun ideas already, Andy, idea for this one. So either way this swings, I'm looking forward to this one. This one should be good. Cheese puff lasagna. I don't know how that would work. Oh, I sort of think of cheese puffs as like cereal. They're very similar. I mean, they're essentially just puffed corn with, except we're more savory instead of sweet in this sense. It's cheese coated instead of sugar coated. And so I was sort of thinking, more dry applications. Cheese puff lasagna, I'd be worried about it getting too, you could definitely get the cheese flavor out of them, but I'd be worried about the puffs just basically turn into mush. That could work, Leozio. It certainly is a thickener, too. Tapari. Figure out what that one is. Oh, they're a type of bean. They're a Spanish term for tepary beans. I am thinking of doing a soup coming up here. We have, I haven't decided which day it is, but we have both, oddly enough, at the end of this month, we have National Corn Chip Day, and at some point in February, we have National Tortilla Day. And so one of those 2 days, I'm sort of thinking I'm going to do tortilla soup. It's been a while since I've done tortilla soup. It's a good one. So that's probably coming up here for one of those 2 dates. Last chance to get a player on the battlefield here. Burria? Burria tacos? Those have been popular with streamers lately. Forget all who I've seen. I think I've seen Kitchen Confidence and BB Bubs doing that recently. Or at least in the last couple of months. I haven't done burrito tacos before. That'd be a fun project to do. But I don't really have a good press either, and that's something that I would want to do fresh pressed tortillas for. Let's do our battle here. Victory! I killed them all. I beat you to him, Head Mama Bear. Congrats on the scrolls, Head Mama Bear. Thank you for the help there, Ivan. Welcome in. We're gonna back up top here because we want to go after that green chest. And, ooh, we got a duplicate map here, basically. I'm going to throw a rogue back out there again. And we'll have another battle here in 30 minutes. So go ahead and add your players to the field. There's a link there in the chat for you to join in if you're interested. And let's get our bagels going here. And I need some cold water, too. Welcome in, Perkins Zone 3. How you doing tonight? Waiting on my water thing to refill here before I... Nice, Perkins Zone. Appreciate you sharing that time with me, too. Okay, so I think our yeast is live and active and has been given a chance to get a good hold here. So let's add our yeast to our flour. An attempt to try and keep my hands a little bit drier. Yeah, they've been working out pretty well for me. Not 100% accurate, but it's a little fun to use them before stream, before I have the audio turned on for my mic. I sit there and say hello to people and talk to chat while I'm getting ready. Okay, so kneading time. What types of animals movies? Nice. I toy around a little bit with graphics, but I've never been professional at it in any form. Mostly just do it for personal use and that sort of stuff. At one point I sort of fancied getting into graphics, but more like back in like high school, dealing with wanting to do web design. Welcome back, Suki. How you doing tonight? Welcome back, Huberman. What is that? Can't quite make out. Is that a Dr. Pepper icon you got there? Or emoji? Waylon Jennings. It's a name I haven't heard in a minute. Oh, I got into it, and actually college was part of why the reason that I dropped out of it is because they wanted you to take 101, like, practically dead languages in order to get to the point that you're doing anything worthwhile in my mind. I probably would be in computers if it wasn't for that. I mean, I was big into computers when I was a kid. But, yeah. I took courses to be a CCNA, too. I mean, I didn't take the test, but I took the courses to take the test. Sort of got done with the classes and realized that I didn't want to spend my life stringing Cat 5. Or in a cubicle. Sort of both. That's sort of what also drove me into cooking too, is cubicle life was not for me. Although it's not really cubicle life anymore, is it? Oh, you didn't even sign up for it, yeah. That's sort of what happened. I went to a smaller local college, did a whole bunch of courses, wanted to go into computers and all that, and ended up falling in love with the culinary. And then moved on to the Culinary Institute in New York. where I really learned to cook. I sort of learned to cook at the local college. Starting to get there with the dough. It's starting to feel smoother. Still tearing, but it's getting there. Oh, you have one of those new ones? I've read that they're bringing those back around. Are they out already? Those haven't been around since I think like the 80s. I'm still largely locked into my farmer's market schedule, where wake up 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. Nowadays it's more like 5 or 6, but still falling asleep, you know. I'm probably half asleep by the time it gets to being 10 o'clock. That's good. You got work still, though, Perkins. A lot of people, it sounds like, don't. Well, most certainly in the restaurant industry right now, but have a few friends out in the UK, and a lot of them are talking like they're having issues, or not just the UK, in Europe. Because they've now shut down again. Might get rid of this board here in a minute. It's slipping on me a bit too much, and having the knife here is not a great plan. Oh yeah, it's going to be really hard to do that now, Perkins. And it's probably going to be the same thing that happened in 2008 too. Is a lot of people lost their gigs due to the financial crisis, and then they only really hired back the cheap labor instead of the knowledgeable employees that, yeah. Nice, Huberman. Glad you're catching other great streamers through me. in a lot of restaurants these days, you don't really, unless you've got a laundry list of credentials or a mile-long list of credentials, the only way you're going to get in the door is a beginning prep cook or a dishwasher. But waiter jobs are going to be really hard to find for probably a while now, because none of the waiters that I know are back full-time. And those are the ones that are still working. Most of those are people that are or probably at least of the knowledge and experience level to be a manager or a general manager, but they're working as a waiter or a waitress, and they're working partial hours. Hey, Bun Buns! We're getting close on this dough. This is my first time trying to make them here. They're a little bit more complex, but yeah, it's a rough one, Perkins. The other one that's fun is when you're looking for a job, why haven't you been working? Or where are you working now? I'm looking for work because I need work. Oh, there's a lot of it to do that, though, Huberman. This is the fun part. This is the easy part. The harder part is scheduling employees and getting those employees to want to do those schedules. Keeping your food costs down, doing orders, making sure you have the food that you want when you want it. The writing in the menu and the actual cooking is the fun part. Yep. Sorry to hear that, Bun Buns, but yeah. That's a bummer, Perkins. Hey, Globo. Globosiet. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. Welcome in. Glad to see you. It's a nice refrigerator emote. When it's smoothened out, it just hasn't smoothed for me at all. This is still just tearing. So we want it smooth. That's good, Bun Buns. And this is going to change depending on which flour you use and the type of your water. I almost said quality of your water, but what's in your water, what mineral content and all that good stuff. And your yeast and your salt and what the current humidity is and all sorts of stuff. Grocery stores is one that I don't really have much experience with at all. I applied to work at a couple of them, but they never seem interested in me, so. It depends, Huberman, but absolutely. There's people that are celiac that can't even handle very old wines because they would seal the casks with wheat. It's a serious sensitivity. It's a serious, like peanuts are serious allergy. Gluten can be serious for about 1%. I do feel sorry for those people. Yeah. I want to say a lot of people are misdiagnosed on that, though, but I don't know the science well enough anymore. But it used to be you really can't be declared a celiac until you've had a actual what do they call it, where they actually go and cut out a piece of your intestine and examine it. A lot of these people these days I hear, oh, I got a blood test and they told me I can't do gluten. And don't know how much I believe that one. I don't know what they've done differently chemically that they can magically tell by your blood now what you're... Maybe, I don't know, Perkins. I'm certainly not an expert when it comes to retail, but if you got the experience, maybe it's just how you're selling yourself. The other one that gets me, and I understand why they do it, but the fact that you have a resume, or a lot of people or professionals have resumes, or at least they used to, that, you know, you have a resume and they're like, okay, fill in everything that's on your resume into this form, and then give us your resume too. It's like, well, why did I bother with the resume? And I understand that the businesses are doing it because they want it in their system, in their form, in their format. And so that once you're in your system, promotions, all that stuff, it's all in there. That's why they want it like that. But they're still not there. This flour just doesn't want to cooperate with me tonight. Just doesn't want to get doughy. We're still not smooth. This has already taken considerably longer than I expected in kneading. But it may be entirely just my choice of flour here, using a high protein flour. Don't want to have to balance out your pennies at the end of the shift. I worked a cashier at one point where it's all digital. You got all the info you need. They had people that were back in their office that could figure out what you did wrong when you did something wrong. But they still had you sit there and figure out everything in math for them. It can be. Sort of depends on the business, I think, Cooperman. But definitely if you're doing like bodega or a jewelry store or maybe a tech store these days. I wouldn't want to be the cashier of an Apple store. Though they're usually after the phones anyways. I would think cashier's almost worse than... Yeah, robberies happen, and they're a concern depending on where you are. I think the bigger problem with cashiers is you're the one in charge. You're the one that gets blamed. There's something missing in the till, it's your fault. I had someone, when I was working cashier, college student went and stole a credit card and stuff from his roommate or something like that and used the card in my store. And there was no real worry about me in that sense. I mean, it wasn't a case where you asked for ID. It wasn't... Well, at the same time, Huberman, and they happen, but how often do they happen these days? Let's do our battle here. This is getting better, but it's still not there. Slowly getting better. Quick victory. Gratsuki with the scroll. Do the mystery battle on the way to our green loyalty chest. And, yeah, why don't we do this action? Go left to right, maybe. And probably throw some... What we got over? Harpooner? Yeah, maybe a rogue or two over here. And we'll go back to kneading dough for another 5-10 minutes, hopefully. Even though it's been 30. Again, that's questionable, Perkins, because there's ways beyond that even I know. It's rather famously been defeated by guys that were spraying old school hairspray on their fake bills. Are you sure, Huberman? It is a bit needy of a dough. Now we just need the epic monk to go with the barbarian and the arg. Why can't I remember words? With the berserker and the barbarian. What we got here in the center? Crack-a-lackin' with the bomber in there. I could turn some music on too. That might help. Mm-hmm. But if you notice, we are getting smoother here. It's just taking forever. It's giving me a little bit of a workout today, so that's good. Okay, I'm gonna give up on this and allow this to rise. Let's clean out our bowl from earlier. That's good. Splash myself all up with water there. Ugh. Sweaty. Olive oil, whatever oil is convenient for you. We're not really using this for flavor or anything. Coat the bowl here. We're going to give that an hour to hang out. See how that looks in an hour. Yeah, I was noticing that with the stream raiders. Ah. Yep, this guy was trying to regrow. He's been kicking around so long that he dried and cured. He got wet again and tried to start regrowing again. And you'll find that sometimes with dried onions, sometimes you'll find onions with like roots growing up in between the layers of their dried peels. This one wasn't quite there, but it was trying to get there. Yeah, the recipe only says 3 to 5 minutes, and it was looking gorgeous when that happened. So, it's probably just the different type of flour that I'm using. Ciao. Cut out that heel on him. Pretty good heel on this onion. We're going to do some thin sliced onion here for pickled onion. Just a quick pickle onion here for with our bagels a bit later. Our pastrami and our salmon. Actually, why don't we get going with that right now? Use the same bowl we used for the yeast. Really like these blue bowls, but they're pretty hard to hold on to when it comes to cleanup time in the sink. These are definitely better bowls for someone with a dishwasher instead of me, but I still love them. That popped open there. Let's see, do I gotta measure out? No, I don't. Equal parts vinegar and water for our pickling liquid. And I'm going to add a pinch of salt. A little actual mustard instead of mustard seed, since I'm doing this quick style. Here's some dried mustard schmutz on the bottle that fell in there. That's not very attractive. But little garlic powder. don't know if I have a favorite mustard. Because it sort of depends on what's going on. Like, in general, I sort of like the spicier ones. Like, I like, Grey Poupon or those more horseradishy ones. But that's not necessarily true when it comes to, like, a good old hot dog. There's certainly a place for good old standard yellow mustard. Let's see if there's anything else here that I can throw in there. I think we'll leave it with that. Oh, a little MSG too. And all that work just for these little guys. Let's let those hang out until we're ready to make our bagels later. Or our bagels are done later. Slice these guys here a little bit. The rest of these we're going to caramelize. Okay. Didn't like that screech. Last of the sunflower oil that I got in the house. Yeah, again, what a lot of people in the U.S. think is wasabi is also either horseradish or mustard, or more likely a combination of the two. With some food coloring. Horseradish is one that I probably like better than your average person, too. I like me some horseradish. Not necessarily... I guess that's sort of rough. I guess I like horseradish with bad beef. Because, like, I'm talking, like, cheap cold cuts. Because I don't really love horseradish when it comes to the whole prime rib thing, because I want to eat the prime rib. Not that I have a problem with the horseradish, it's just, if I'm spending money for prime rib, the beef is where we're at. That pea dish last week basically took the finish off on this guy. If you guys remember, this is a relatively new pan of mine. And so I gave it a new recure there. You notice up around the edges there, it's still a little bit rough. But I at least got it until it wasn't so shiny anymore. Oh, it would have helped if you could have seen what I was doing there. This guy here, if you notice the edge on that isn't necessarily as finished as the nice flat finished bottom. Or satin. So we got a nice hot pan going here. Get our onions started. Sizzle, sizzle time. I forget who it was, but famous New York food writer. I got it. I messaged, responded on Twitter, was calling cast iron owners a cult. How dare he? It is not a cult, it is a lifestyle. Fun couple of streams coming up here. I mean, like I was saying earlier, I'm looking forward to either charcoal or cheese balls. Both of them are going to be awesome streams on Wednesday. But Sunday, I'm going to be roasting chicken again just because I have chicken. I got it on sale. And, yeah. It's going to be Hot Buttered Rum. National Hot Buttered Rum Day on Sunday. I guess I'm doing national holidays now, too. I don't know. It's just what's easy when I'm trying to plan things. What's the national holiday? Because it's typically stuff that's in season, too. And turn this heat right down now that we got these warmed up and cooking. A little salt to help draw out a little moisture. How we doing in our battle here? Another 6 minutes left. About 12 units on the field. Not too shabby. Hanging out waiting for this to proof up. Take a look, see if that's... Yeah, it's maybe risen a little bit. Welcome, Raiders. Thank you for that raid, Hook'em on Health. Welcome in, everyone. Hello, I'm Jason. Stream here on Twitch 3 nights a week, on Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. We're working on National Bagel Day today. So we're waiting on bagels to proof. We got some onions that I'm quick pickling here. Just not even heating up the brine, just giving them a little while on that. And we're caramelizing some onions here. Planning on doing 3 types of bagels tonight. Once that proofs up, I'll switch it in. I'll cut it into about 8 different bagels is the hope tonight. And I'll do 4 everything bagels. 2 of them with the caramelized onions. And 2 of them with cinnamon raisin. Got some smoked salmon in the fridge. Got some pastrami in the fridge. And both of those will go good with these onions. Got a little cream cheese in the fridge. So that's what we're up to tonight. What were we cooking tonight, Hook'em on Health? What were we? What was our stream tonight?
Quick Trip
Lasagna,
greater
nice.
than Quick Trip smile.
Thank you for that, for the bits. Appreciate that, Spencer Cares. Quick Trip. I had forgot about that. Welcome in. What type of lasagna? Did you do anything traditional lasagna? Something special or different? Actually had someone... I know you do the ingredient challenges of spin the wheel along that line. I do weekly challenges of my own for ingredient sources on my Discord here. And so right now we've got, for next Wednesday here, between charcoal, which I'd be using food grade activated charcoal most likely, versus cheese balls, which does seem to be the winner here so far. But this vote's going to go until Monday. And I'll have to cook on Wednesday both dinner and dessert using the ingredient. And in the past here I've done... Last week was taro. I did a taro curry. And I did taro... basically like paste candies. Forgetting the proper term for that. We've also done KFC fried chicken, crickets, candy corn, after 8 dinner mints, Fruit Loops, string cheese, eggnog, donuts, Twinkies, Pop-Tarts, gummy worms, Pocky, and popcorn. So quite a few of these at this point. Thank you for that follow, Lauren. And we also have a decent list here of suggestions for upcoming ones, and this is where the ingredient for the votes come from. So you guys are welcome to come into the Discord, make your own suggestions. If you guys do come into the Discord tonight, you're gonna have to probably wait until... I'll do a quick check right now, but gonna have to probably wait until after the stream until I can give you permissions, because my bot's not working quite right. So we'll give Spencer Cares quick permissions there. Go back to check my onions, which are a bit toasty. They're cooking a bit warm here. And we need some moisture here, so I'm going to start with some water. that New York pizza? Hey, New York Slice. New York pizza. I just noticed the glowing name. I guess slice is not necessarily a pizza for sure. And I don't know about, well, okay, I don't know about Quick Trip versus Quick Trip. But I will say, you got a challenger there in Buc-ee's. Especially for the bathrooms. Turn that down even more there. I could live it, Bucky. Let's do our battle. We got Stream Raiders going on here if you guys are not familiar. There'll be a link in chat here shortly after we finish the battle if you're interested in joining in. Welcome in, Nemanja. Victory. Head Mama Bear with the kills. Strizzle with the assists. Suki and Head Mama Bear with the golden scrolls. Grats. Ooh. More golden scrolls for me. Yay. Loyalty chest battle here, so good one to get involved with. And do I want to go rogue? Do I want to go tank? What we got going here? Who is this dude? Melee. He's a level 1. These are all level 1s. Yeah, let's go warrior. Go in between. Can't choose tanker. But feel free to join in with the link there, add your own players to the field, level up your own army, all that good stuff. You can play with multiple streamers at the same time if you're not familiar. Nice, tartar. Yeah, all the words are food related. It's my own dictionary, so probably will not find it. Many different languages in there too. There's quite a bit of Spanish, quite a bit of French, quite a bit of German. Go back to our onions here. Add even more water to this. You gotta join in by typing in exclamation scramble when my bot starts it up, or you can start it on your own afterward. There is no timeout on it, but I do believe my bot's starting it up once every 6 minutes or so. And so you type scramble in, and it gives, then I'll give the scrambled word, and you can feel free to enter the guesses that you have. And sprinkles are my currency that I use for giveaways and fun stuff here in the stream. I'm hoping to build a couple more options into it. I've got a number of things that I'm thinking of doing with sprinkles, but essentially they're a viewer currency. They're primarily given out by viewing the stream and hanging out here. You can get a couple extra by doing the scrambles. You can get a couple extra by checking in every time you come into the stream. But otherwise, it's through viewing and being here when other stuff's going on. I've already given away a gift card with that, and I do intend to do some more here as things work on with the channel. So we're about 30 minutes in here on our dough. That's still not looking hugely cooperative. We'll set that off to the side for the moment. As to New York Slice, I do appreciate New York Slice, and I've lived in New York. But I've also lived in Detroit. I'm sort of torn on that one. I almost don't want to call them the same thing. They're both equal of great praise. Hey, Chili Music, how you doing tonight? Late day at work, hopefully it was a good day. Hope all your days went by swiftly and busily so that they weren't drudging along. Oh, it's certainly better than deep dish. Let's not even Chicago myth. They put all sorts of weird stuff on their hot dogs. I do chili music too. You'll find a lot of onions on this channel. I use onions almost every night on this channel. Don't know that one right off the top of my head either. Hey Trigger, how you doing tonight? That could be it. It could be something along that line. Chicken cordon bleu. It's been a while since I've stuffed some chicken breasts. That was, last time I did that was back when I was doing cook-alongs on Mixer. Sort of like Miss Molly here on Twitch. She does, I think she does cook-alongs every once in a while where she gives a menu out and recipes out, has people join along with cooking with her. I toyed around with that when I was on Mixer. Nice, Trigger. Some new rocks to hang out with Bob. I want to say that I did a stuffed chicken breast that was wrapped with bacon, and it turned out looking really ugly, although it tasted great. So, I mean, can you really go wrong when it comes to some form of chicken, bacon, and cheese? I mean... Trigger's got a little, oh, what's his last name now? But, Bob the Painter. Famous here on Twitch. In his freshwater tank. There's a picture of it up on the Discord. Bob Ross, yes. Add a bit more water because some of those big guys are still not cooked through, like this guy and this guy over here. They're not done cooking. Well, you put something... He has hair, though. I mean, you got it in the tank, but what'd you put for hair on it? So, like black moss? I seem to remember it being dark black like his hair, too. Bob Moss. Fish ate Bob's hair? Yes, please do chili music. Trigger's got some there, and I think he's got them in the pets channel. Pets. All sorts of cutesies in here. Yeah. Bob. We got these cutesies in here too. We got Boat from Botita. I throw my old food pics in here. These are the sort of paste-like candies that I made the other night with the taro root. Some past. Let me get some other viewer submitted photos here. Evangeline and past stuff of mine. Yum, yum, yum. I'm going to turn the heat off on the onions now and just let them hang out here till we're ready for them with some of our bagels. I think instead of putting these on top, I'm going to just mix these in, sort of like the cinnamon raisin style bagel. Still got another 25 minutes or so on our dough to rise. And it hasn't risen much, which is also worrying me. Oh, it's starting to rise a little bit now. Oh, there's no E. I was going to say molten. Is that really the problem when it gets into saltwater tanks, Chili, where if you're doing saltwater tanks, you really need multiple tanks, sort of a thing? Or is it, can you do a saltwater tank and just have a saltwater tank? Because I know freshwater fish are supposed to be much easier to do that way, but I assume there's other factors in there too. Not a fish expert, obviously. Oh, you have multiple freshwater. Okay. Well, I guess I may be sort of... Yeah, it's an addiction, but I'm more thinking, yeah, you can probably just have a single one, but when it gets into... you want to clean that tank out and proper maintenance and proper upkeep, you're going to have to drain it down, or you may have to drain it entirely, and then you need another tank to move into, and that sort of game sort of stuff. I forget who it was, but I got stuck on a YouTube video dude for a while there that was building a giant tank and all sorts of other tanks in his garage. He like turned his entire garage into an aquarium. But I guess it's probably a little bit more finicky at the same time. Things tend to work that way in life. You can have fresh water and make it a little bit easier to handle, but salt water you can probably save on money longer term with making a more complex setup, but it's a little bit more finicky. Milnut. It is canned evaporated milk that can still be whippable and is only available in certain places. How do you make your... Oh, you asking someone else there? For me, burger patties, you can either go two ways. Either you're going to mix the heck out of it and put a bunch of stuff in it, sort of like a Juicy Lucy or something like that, where you're going to smash burger, you're really going to work that meat, and so it's going to be almost like a solid puck. And that's one way that I appreciate. But when I think of a burger, I typically more think, and this is probably a little, is just that straight out of the grinder, handled as little as possible. Just, I mean, barely handled to mix some seasoning into it, sort of a thing. And so it's still like falling apart, and the only thing that holds it together is the protein cooking. But I do enjoy a good steamed griddle burger too, along the lines of a White Castle, but not from White Castle. Clotted cream, I have not made clotted cream. I've made lemon cheese. I've made farmer's cheese, which is basically the same thing. I've made homemade, homemade ricotta. But I have not made just like a clotted or a yogurt-like cream or a thickened cream. Yeah, you need some salt and pepper. I don't know if people really need much more than spice with a burger, but burgers are sort of one of those things where it also matters what you're putting with it, too. Because, like, I like that good, quality beef, just freshly ground burger on one hand. But that's typically more of a burger than I want with, like, fresh lettuce. The nice, high-quality, good veggies. Whereas, you think of the more, like, Juicy Lucy or the more meat puck. That's more of your, potato bread, cheap pickles, mustard, ketchup. I have certainly made beef Wellingtons before. I've not done it on stream. I keep getting that question. And they've been doing Wellingtons all over the place on stream lately. I've seen mushroom Wellingtons lately. I've seen beef and salmon Wellingtons lately. My answer is the same as I think it was on Sunday, or on Wednesday. So I sort of want to make my own puff pastry if I'm going to do that. And I've been sort of struggling with making my own puff pastry on stream because it takes time. And it's sort of like this. We're sort of hanging out, waiting for it to proof or waiting for it to chill. So I haven't done that yet. And it's one that's one dish that I don't want to use like frozen puff pastry for. Frozen puff pastry is great, especially as a time saver, and especially if you're at home yourself. I'm not going to recommend you guys waste the time to make puff pastry, but I'd like to do it. But that's one of those dishes that is really tough to work out, and I doubt any streamer, really any streamer, regardless of what their pictures are like, is going to nail that right off. Because it's such a complex dish of trying to make sure you have that nice mushroom layer around the meat. It's contained. It's not dripping juice all over the place. Yeah, it's a complex dish. It's not one that it's one that, and the reason I say that is it's one that you're just not going to throw it in the oven and get the timing right on everything right with all the other minor components. You may get the beef looking perfect. You may get that gorgeous picture, but I sort of doubt you're going to get everything. You get that perfect beef with that perfect puff pastry. And yeah, I've had some pretty damn good beef Wellingtons before. I had Wellington at Ramsey's in Vegas, which Vegas restaurants, but still it's his trademark. That was damn good. Oh, a fan of bread soup, Pikachu? That's true too, Chill. I mean, well, it's not going to look anything or hold together like it should, but it'd be a heck of a lot easier. But I was more, I'm still thinking of, who was it? Someone was in here earlier. I think it was Leo. Was, doing beef with, a sort of fruity sauce. And I don't know how fruity he was actually making it. He, she, they. But it just got me thinking of all sorts of fruit and protein stuff, and so that's just sticking in my head now. I'm like, I want some beef and pineapple, or some beef and some sweet and sour sauce or something. Maybe some like fruity steak tacos actually too. Now that's in my head. Caramelized onions. Ooh, that sounds good too, Chili. Yeah, I was saying that it's been a while since I've had like a fruity protein combo. Like maybe, I think it's probably been since I did the candy corn dinner when I had the sweet and sour chicken. I made sweet and sour sauce using candy corn. We got a simple pickling liquid here. This is... Oh, I didn't put any sugar in there. We got some salt in there. Let's add a little sugar in there. But thank you for asking me. We got apple cider vinegar. We got water. We got a little mustard. Like Dijon mustard that I whipped in there. Salt, MSG. Let's add a little salt, a little sugar in there too. So those will be with, I've got some purchased pastrami and some purchased smoked salmon. So we'll do pickled onions with those guys. And Those are going to be for the, like, everything bagels. Steal one of those, see how they're doing. Still raw. But there's pickling liquid there. Poisson. I'm gonna have to look that up because I used to know that word. I should know that word. I think it's a fish cook, but no, it's just fish. French for fish. It's French for fish. I could throw them in the fridge, but it's not going to help them too much because I haven't heated the brine either. They're pretty crunchy as it is now, and that's usually what you're using the refrigerator for, is you're pulling the temperature down so that they don't cook as much that way. Thanks for stopping by, Nemanja. I will be back on Sunday. Not tomorrow, Sunday. But I appreciate you being by. Yeah, that's more if you're using a hot brine or a hot pickle. Which we're not for that. I'm just throwing in a little vinegar. Onions. Battle. But yeah, that is a good, if you are doing quick pickles where you're pouring hot brine over your veggies, or if you're pickling your veggies as going from that warm state, cool state, will help with your crispness. Also helps to have your veggies refrigerated before you even start pickling them, too. See how we do in our battle. All sorts of allies on the field. Oh wow, they got a chance. Over in an instant. Suki killed them all. Congrats, guys. Suki with the kills and the assists. Head Mama Bear with the gold. More golden scrolls for me, yay. Even though I really want the gold and the scrolls on my other account. I've got enough gold. I think it's rogue time. This is definitely a rogue battle. Get your rogues out there on the field. Name of the game with this one is to destroy all those factors before we get enough of other characters on the field. So, rogues on the field will rush over to them. They're the fastest running. And they go after those buildings. It might chili music. Freezing things will... It'll also ruin their texture, though. They'll be soft. Because when you freeze things, in general. With plant cells, the freezing the ice crystals puncture the plant cells, and so then you lose your texture from the plant cells. But at the same time, obviously puncturing all of the plant cells is going to infuse them with flavor much easier. So yes, but I don't necessarily recommend you doing that. Need more water. Clean up cast iron back here. Cleaning up our spoons while we're still got another 5 minutes or so here to let that bread rise. Make or allow our bagels to rise. Proof. I might want to give it extra time because I needed it there pretty good, which isn't always great for the yeast. Let's see where we're at. See if I want to give that even more time. Yeah, let's give that a little bit more time. Let's give that another 20 minutes. It is rising. You guys want to take a look. That has increased in size. It's not small little ball shaking in there anymore, but it's maybe done 1.5. We're more looking for Hey Angry Bear, how you doing tonight? Yep, we're doing bagels tonight. Gonna be doing hopefully 8 bagels out of this. And we're gonna do caramelized onion. Did some caramelized onions here a little bit earlier. We had a couple more onions here, pickling with smoked salmon. I got some cheap store-bought pastrami. So we'll make all sorts of bagels tonight. We'll do everything seasoned bagels. We'll do caramelized onion bagels. Maybe we'll do 2 of them with raisins and cinnamon. Thank you for that follow, Sandy Nooks. Yeah, you're gonna have to keep looking other than me. I don't fit that too well. Smoky pan. Don't want a smoke alarm. But yeah, lox and knish. But I do like some traditional Jewish cuisine. How we doing tonight, Sand and Oaks? I'm just gonna keep trying different pronunciations of your name. Maybe I'll get it right someday. I'm doing pretty good. Having a pretty chill evening here. Just sort of hanging out waiting on our bread to proof. Or our bagels to proof. Doing anything interesting for dinner yourself here tonight? If it is night for you? About 40%, according to Twitch, about 40% of my people are across the Atlantic from me, so... Could be late night for you. Anyone surprised by their year-end summary that they got in the emails today? Twitch sent out their viewer stats to everyone for the last year or this earlier today. How many hours you watched streams, how many... I think I did nearly 1,000 lines of text in the 7 months or so I've been here since Mixer. Numbers aren't very impressive for me because, like I said, I've only been here the 6-7 months since death of Mixer. If I had the full year stats, I mean, we're coming up on 2 years here. And it's got a we got a year and a half in here. We got a little ways until it's 2 years. What's the? Yeah, we got a little ways until it's 2 years. But anyone new into chat tonight? I cook here 3 nights a week. Just what's happening, what's interesting, what I feel like doing. Been doing the last 6 months, last year here, I've been doing a lot of national holiday food. Since today is National Bagel Day, we're doing bagels tonight. First time I tried making bagels at home. But that's primarily Fridays and Sundays what I do here on stream. On Wednesdays, we have ingredient challenges posed by viewers here in the stream. So right now we got a vote going on between charcoal or cheese balls for an ingredient, and I'll have to use that as an ingredient for both dinner and dessert, so both savory and sweet. So that's on the 20th here. And we've got another vote for cheese balls during the stream here, so I think cheese balls are going to win this one out, but I want to use either one of them. They're both awesome ideas that I've got for them. Got some new pet picks. What do we put on here, Trigger? I don't know if that shows up right on stream. Anyways, I wish I could show that, like, zoomed in here, but you guys can view it zoomed in at home, along with the earlier pet photos. That's certainly one thing. Both of those could be used pretty easily as a breading. If I did it as a breading, it probably wouldn't be the only thing because, like, I've done breading before too. I mean, there's certain ingredients that you sort of have to go to things like that. like the Fruit Loops. I use the Fruit Loops as a breading on turkey. What else am I needing? I need water. I need water boiling for our bagels. So let's get some water on the stove. You can do breading with cheese balls. You could do, be a good crunch factor. You could probably make a decent salad out of them. You could certainly use them as like a crouton in a salad. Someone else was saying lasagna with that, which I don't know if I agree with that one, because certainly the cheese would go well in lasagna or any pasta dish, really. You can put cheese powder in all sorts of stuff. But the actual, like, cheese ball, I would think would get, like, unless you're using it specifically, like, in a sauce, like as a roux, as a thickener, I wouldn't want to... But yeah, you could use them as a thickener for making a bechamel. That'd be a great, simple use for them. You'd have to cook them longer than a typical roux, because the roux you start cooking right off by mixing it in with the... Well, actually you wouldn't, because it's corn. It's normal flour that you have to cook. I don't know if corn you'd have to cook it as long in order to get the flavor out of it, but it's going to taste corny either way that way. Let's see if I have enough of that left for that idea. Nope. Put this back since I just used it for water. Full high heat on our water here. Good label on that stuff. Entire thing peeled off at once. But rather than buy a bunch of separate things to do this, I just bought everything bagel seasoning, which is probably not the most economical way to go about that. But I didn't want to buy the onion flakes and all the sesames and just have them around home and not use them. So, paying more for the spice by not paying more for having all those spices around and not using them. Oh yeah, it's great for, I mean, it's mostly, why I was saying it was so cheap is it's mostly, what is it? Oh, I ripped it off. But I think it's mostly onion flake and sesame seed there by volume. You obviously got garlic powder and salt and a couple of other things. Maybe some rye seeds in there. Is there any rye in this? I seem to remember them having rye, or I actually sort of want to throw some rye or some caraway or something in there. But guess not. Let's also put together our cinnamon. I'm going to grate some nutmeg into our cinnamon for our cinnamon nutmeg bagels. Yeah, a lot of bagels are heavily salted. And let's see if this is a combination that's salty. Not so much. But yeah, typically you're right. Typically bagels are coated in salt. Have a good one, Quentin. Thank you for stopping by. And thank you for that follow. Yeah, we're only doing 2 bagels. Wow, the garlic in that stuff. Like, my mouth is just full of garlic from that seasoning. 2 of them. That's about right. finally got, for any of those who've been following along, I finally taken my truck in for service. I've been procrastinating on that for so long. I finally got a date for that. So hopefully I'll be able to hit up the farmers markets again here at some point. It's been a while. I still hit up the local one that I can walk to, but it's been a while since I've been able to drive out to one of the other markets. How are we looking here? Still waiting for you to proof. Want you to proof more. It has almost doubled at this point, but it's certainly not what I was expecting. And I probably shouldn't have used this flour, or probably should have at least cut it with half AP flour. But the recipe called for bread flour, using high protein bread flour. So we'll wait until our next battle here. We got another 6 minutes until our next battle. We'll work on forming our bagels after we're done with that. You gotta wait for this to come up to a boil anyways, and that's probably gonna take another 6 minutes. See here what the next week vote's probably going to be here. I think we had votes for pickled ginger, yeah. Oh, we got another vote for ramen too. Ramen lost out in the vote battle a couple of weeks ago. Apparently people wanted that one in there. So yeah, it's looking like pickled ginger and ramen dinner are probably next choices for the vote, because they're both got three votes over here. You got LaCroix and LaCroix, not LaCroix, coffee grounds, and green beans there, and black garlic with 2 votes. It's different. What's different, Leo? Sorry, the time gap's getting me. Full course of a ramen dish? Well, what I'm probably going to end up doing is I'm going to buy ramen, because that's what I've done so far, is whatever ingredient it is, I'm buying that ingredient and using that as an ingredient. So it's what I'm probably going to do for ramen is I'll probably buy a nice ramen, but it's going to be a purchased ramen thing, whether it's a ramen setup with both noodles and broth, or even more. But I'm not going to make up ramen broth, and I'm not going to make ramen noodles for Wednesday. I'd love to make ramen noodles some night. I'd love to make ramen broth some night. But not for the Wednesday challenges. I've made all sorts of broth here on stream, by the way. I've done chicken and pork here since I've been on Twitch, I think, and I've done duck, I've done lamb and goat when I was on Mixer. Haven't bought any lamb bones or veal bones to do a veal stock. I've done veal stock, but it's always been a restaurant or business situation where we're buying bones. Been sort of thinking I might. I have to look into it, but I'm sort of thinking of getting myself a piece of veal here for filling up that chest freezer. It depends, Leo. It depends on how you're looking at it. They certainly, I would say they're certainly masters of umami and all of those deep, rich flavors. And they're certainly masters of seafood. But there's things on the other European coast that pretty masterful as well. I mean, it's sort of amazing to think that fish sauce, which is probably the original one, but fish sauce, Worcestershire sauce, and ketchup were originally all designed to go after the same flavor. They were all supposed to be originally like someone tried something somewhere, and all three of those things came from that same point. Probably fish sauce. Because if you look at the history of ketchup, it was heavily off of like fish sauce and your initial ketchups. You could even find artisan ones these days, but old school ketchups were not ketchup based, were not tomato based. They were like mushroom or all sorts of other funky flavors, trying to get after that umami flavor that you get with fish sauce. Well, that's another thing, Leo, is technique between the two cultures are completely different, too. If you look at Italian, or more importantly, French cuisine, Italians invented a lot of the stuff the French stole. But the French had the royalty at the time for the food, and so French food is very precise and very cleanly done, and like you have cuts that don't care about the rest of the potato. They want that perfect batonette, they want that perfect julienne, and they're all the perfect same size. Versus if you look at like Asian style cuisines, especially Chinese cuisine, their techniques are about efficiency and using all of a product and doing it very quickly. And so it's almost like two different purposes. They're after two different things. The French are after that perfect Instagram photo, while the Chinese are trying to save the most money, or the Asians are trying to be the most efficient. Battle! Did I hear battle? Battle is ready. "16 units on the battlefield." The rogues steal all the kills. Me and Suki wiping it out. Head Mama Bear and Suki with the golden scrolls. Congrats. There's another rogue one. We want to get our rogues out there to go after the buildings as fast as possible. But we do have some guys here. We're going to need at least one tank here of some sort. And that's new. They didn't used to have one over here. That's a new placement to me. But, why don't we do... Assassins over there. And some melee. Ranged. And support. You don't have to follow these guys. It prompts you if you don't want to follow it. But, you don't have to follow that exactly. It's just a general idea of what seems to work here. Get a couple of rogues up in the corners. You get yourself a little bit of an army here to handle the sweep up. Alright. Let's see what we got for dough. Not quite doubled in size, but that has proved. So let's see what we got. Just a couple of folds here to knock it down. So, 2 of these we are making into cinnamon raisin. Come on, ball up for me. Starting to ball up a little bit. It's requiring a lot of downward pressure, though. No. We'll stop there because it's starting to tear. It's okay that it's doing that, but... So there's our cinnamon raisin bagels. caramelized onion. Okay, we'll leave it like that mess. Because these have to proof another 10-15 minutes here before we squeeze a hole in them. I'm going to go a little bit lighter on the onion in this one too. Bottom on that guy. Not my greatest work with those two. Alright. Now these ones we're just gonna do a little bit simpler. Just fold them in on themselves. And get them to ball. The last four here, I'm not putting anything in them. We're just balling them up. The first two I put cinnamon and nutmeg and raisin. The second two I did caramelized onions. And then, like I said, these last four are just plain. The last four are going to be the everything seasoning. You can see just sitting here on the plate, they're increasing in size from where I'm rolling them here to where I started. I was sort of getting into that earlier. It's primarily sesame seed. If you look at it, it's primarily white and black sesame seed. But you've got dried onion flakes in there. You've got garlic powder in there. And forgetting what all else. There's not a ton else in there. I remember as a kid there being some sort of rye or something typically, but the recipes and stuff I've seen for it doesn't have that. So yeah, my mouth has got nothing but everything seasoning going on now. I took that little bite of it earlier, and my mouth is just nothing but onion and garlic right now. That toasty onion and sesame's usually good at adding a decent amount of sweetness to things. You'll notice sesame actually in quite a few sweet products. And the paste is pretty sweet too. So there's our bagels. Not finished forming, but gonna give those another rest at this point. I am gonna give this guy a second attempt at rolling, because that's not gonna do well when I'm boiling this. So we're gonna mash this guy until he gets into a little bit better of a formed ball. This one may be a lost cause. Put too much onion in it. We'll give it a shot. But I think that one may be a lost cause. Water boiling back here yet? Almost. Avocado would have been good for tonight too, but only so much that I can throw at this in one night. And I really sort of wanted to make a pastrami sandwich, but hot pastrami sandwich day was yesterday and not today. Have to do that next year. Save you for later. We're going to toss the last of you. Yeah, avocado toast seems to die out there again. I mean, that was all the rage there like a year or two ago. Everything was avocado toast a couple of years ago. Of course, that was sort of part of the, when San Francisco still had restaurants. Sad but true. Hey, they're saying San Francisco's a renter's market now. Everyone moved out. Still can't find a house. But apparently it's a renter's market. Also read an article, I don't know if it was today or yesterday, from Redfin. Redfin being one of the big realtor companies out there these days. Redfin came out with a study that said 63% of real estate purchases last year were made without the new owners seeing the property. Like 63% of people just blindly bought online. And I just can't imagine that for a house. I mean, if you're doing it for a rental or a property that, is more of an investment than, a property for yourself, but going to buy a house and make it your home, I would want to put a hell of a lot more thought and planning into something than that than, the quickest thing I can find online. Yeah, that's true, Chili Music. San Francisco's got some real issues between... Yeah. It's got a lot of bureaucratic issues. It's got, DAs fighting with the police and vice versa, and all the businesses are being strangled. The real estate has gone up so ridiculously high that no reasonable, fast food can't afford to operate in that city because they can't do the margins. The only way that you're going to have fast food or quick serve food in San Fran is it's some company that's offsetting their losses with somewhere else in the country. My understanding, the touristy areas are still touristy, but yeah, you don't want to go hang out in some of the less fun areas of San Fran anymore. And I mean, you see photos of... You don't want to park your car in San Francisco, anywhere, unless it's in a garage. Because you just see, day after day, the police are just not handling the small petty crime. And you'll see videos on Twitter almost every day of, 50 cars in a line, every window's busted on all of them. Vegas is a different animal. Vegas had a huge boom with the real estate change. And it's been a big, it's been a boom town, and it's probably at least due for a little bit of a lull here. But Vegas has always been a very transient town. People go there to make it big and then ended up busting in most cases. But yeah, I haven't been hearing about Vegas lately. I've been hearing Phoenix, Austin. I got a couple of friends that live in Vegas, and wow, that just does not feel clean at all. Monterey Bay is great. I mean, it's only a hour or two from here. I mean, how can you not love Monterey Bay Aquarium? Which, by the way, if you guys aren't familiar, they have a live stream here on Twitch. It's just a live stream of the ocean, but it's a nice, calming stream if you're bored in the afternoon and want a calming, relaxing scene. You should check out the Monterey Aquarium Twitch account. I was also joking with someone earlier about the roads in Marin, which Marin just, it has to have just classically always preserved trees, which is a great thing. But it's you get places in Marin where the road just like narrows down to like one lane because there's a tree there, and it's not the best design. But it is nice for the trees at the same time. Yeah, it's been a minute since I've been to the aquarium myself, too, their chili music. But that's a fun one. I'm going to put a sheet pan over the top of the boiling water here, see if we can't get this to a full boil a little bit quicker. Won't be as pretty for you guys, though. Just leave these here. Show you guys how these are. They are proofing a bit. These guys are certainly larger than these guys down here. Oh, it doesn't look too much on the camera, though, because the camera is slightly angled this way. And so this is the you notice my hand gets smaller. Nice chilling music. That'd be a fun job to have. Keep track of all those big and different, probably all sorts of different aquariums to maintain. And are you hoping to land a job in the Monterey Aquarium? Or just an aquarium? Because, I mean, there's some impressive... Oh, okay. Already burping everything spice. It's just potent stuff. It just sticks with you. Nice. Well, Monterey Aquarium is one of the ones to go and see. It's certainly one of the ones you always hear about. And yeah, another 5 minutes, a little over 5 minutes there, so last chance to get your last two characters on the field there. Last two units on the field. Put your unit on the field. Starting to get there with our boil. We got a steady steam flow now. I sort of wonder whether it would be more interesting, and I don't know enough to know the difference, but whether you want to work for one of those giant aquariums that just have an enormous tank and all sorts of stuff, like, you know, like one of those open wildlife zoos, but it being an aquarium, or if I'd want to work for an aquarium that has a whole bunch of smaller, unique, different ones. Because it's one of those things, again, like we were talking earlier, you usually trade off either, you know, it's a big system that you don't have to do a lot of maintenance work on it, and you get to play with a whole bunch of different animals, but doing the wrong thing may mess up everything. Or, you know, you got 101 smaller ones, and you gotta fuss with everything. Okay, so we got a boil going. Let's start in on our first ones here, making our... And so we're just squeezing the center. Till we get a hole going there. Hey, welcome back, Trigger. And then we're going to work our hole a bit larger. Losing a couple raisins in the process, but there we go. Nice. What are you 3D printing? That seems to be a huge fad here with a lot of people here on Twitch. All sorts of people 3D printing stuff now. That seemed to be a fad like 3-4 years ago, and it sort of seems like it's returned here in this last year. Nice. This is our likely messed up caramelized onion bagel. I'm not going to work that one too much. I'm just boiling them in straight water. And that reminds me, I can turn my oven on here too. Gonna need our oven on to 425 to blast these with some heat once they're done boiling. Oh, I'm sure they try all sorts of things with water. Water's... A lot of people think water is the secret to their bagels. It's one of those things like all the... every yeast ingredient. I mean, you only got 3 ingredients to start. You know, flour, water, and yeast. We're all pretty much using bread yeast. Although there's other options. And, so that leaves you with flour or water that you can make special. You can make it yours. And yeah, adding baking soda will change the way the water works and reacts. It's like ramen noodles. You're using that with that. Battle! It is time to battle yet again. What time is it? How long have we been streaming tonight? Wow. 7:30. Late night tonight. We're getting there, though. Bagels are pretty quick from here on out. Let's do our battle. "31 allies. I think we got this one, guys." Not used to the enemy over here, though. He's taking a little bit of chunk out of our flying roads. Suki's rogue's trying to solo this guy over here. He's got some help. They've got some help now. Nice. Victory. CR3. Crack-a-lackin' with the kills and the assists. Welcome in. You got Suki, Leo Zio, and CR3 with the gold and the scrolls. Congrats. Golden scrolls from me, too. Ooh, a skin. And let's do a boss battle. This will probably be the last one of the evening here. Maybe I'll throw a tank out there. You guys can use for some defense. What do we got up here tonight? We got level 1. These guys are all level 1s. Oh, there we go. There's some level 20s. Spearmen and tanks. So pallies are good this map. Berserkers are good this map. Range is good this map. I'm not going to put a bunch of directions up there this time. Let's go over to the stove here. So we got our boiling water there. I am doing great today, Unluck. Welcome in. Hopefully you're having a lovely day as well. We'll start off with our cinnamon raisin ones here. These are going to get about a minute per side. I'm actually timing this. Losing a couple raisins in there, but oh well. It's about 45 seconds there. I'm going to put them right back where they were. Oops. Hopefully that didn't affect my stream much. Realized I had something probably draining my bandwidth there a little bit. I don't have any drop frames tonight, though, so that's good. There we go. So that's been another minute. So there's a little bit of a puff-up difference between the two there. Go ahead with our caramelized onions. But what this is doing primarily, besides making these, starting to cook those starches so they're going to get chewy, it's also cooking the starches on the outside. And so when we bake them, they're going to crisp up much quicker and much easier compared to the rest of the dough. You see our messy guy there is messy. Though that may turn out looking like a pretty good bagel when we're done. It's not what I intended, though. Well, that's what, I mean, a lot of these things in cooking is practice and having done it 10 times. Because, you know, kneading the dough the right way and knowing what the dough should feel like and what result you're going to get from that feel out of that dough. I don't have that yet because I haven't done a ton of bagels. I've done bagels in commercial style. I haven't done it like this. More of a boil them in the oh, I forget the term of it. It's like a griddle, but it's a steam tilt kettle. Try and pull those raisins and onions and stuff out of here before we go back with our plain. Maybe should have done the plain first, but I formed them last, so they've had the least amount of time to proof as a bagel shape. Give this guy a little bit more of a round out. Whisper, I didn't mind them. I think I only caught one of them. But, I think it's a good idea. Sorry if it's been a while. I didn't catch that message until just now. Don't know if you're still lurking around. So our oven's up to temp. Last two. We'll throw these in the oven here for 10 to 15 minutes. Actually, I think I'm going to flip this guy over. Yeah. Got distracted. Those got an extra 20 seconds or so. Alright. We're gonna everything seasoning these guys. Oops. Everything seasoned these guys. Turn the water off. Make sure we get the sides all nice coated as well. That guy didn't coat very well. Maybe we'll try on this side, see if it coats better on that side. There we go. Awesome. So these are our bagels going in the oven. Ten-minute timer. And we'll see how those look after 10 minutes. Maybe give them an extra 5. I tend to give my oven a little bit longer. Yeah, I'm looking forward to these too. They're a little bit smaller than I was thinking, but they're not going to get much bigger in the oven. I just wish they had proofed a bit better. But again, I think that's the flour I chose. And so in the meantime, let's get some goodies out here. We need that. We need this. And where is that? See if this pastrami's looking any better than the stuff I had the other day. Yeah, that's definitely looking nicer. Stuff I had the other day was just absolutely chocked full of connective tissue. And in the center of, like right in the center of a lot of these pieces. This is already looking 10 times better. Yeah. I'm okay with that. Let's leave that there. Check out what we got here for our smoked salmon. This is a brand of salmon that I haven't tried before. I much prefer my local fishmongers. Typically got some really good smoked salmon, but with my truck out of commission, I wasn't able to drive out there or go to the farmer's market to catch them. But let's take a piece of the lox here and see what this is like. Rip off a corner here. Okay. I've had some tastier salmon, but that's got some nice smoke flavor to it. That'll be good. Hey Kirby, welcome in. How you doing tonight? How's the Bates house coming along? Kirby's been working on building the Bates home of movie fame. Doing a miniature version of it, like a permanent setup for in his place. We got another 5.5 minutes here until we take our first check on our homemade bagels. Nice, Kirby. We got a little cream cheese action here. We got our pickled onions from before. Went to swing that onion into my mouth, and it swung past my mouth. doing pretty well here, Kirby. Sort of a late evening, but we're having fun. Trying out bagels for the first time at home. We've got 4 everything bagels in there. We got 2 caramelized onion. Made some caramelized onions earlier. And 2 cinnamon, nutmeg, and raisin. Figure out what I'm going to do with the rest of this seasoning. That's the other part of reasoning that I just bought a thing of seasoning for this. It's because you notice it's already all clumped up. I'm breaking it up here with my hand. But the moisture from the bagels, just using it that once, got it all clumped up. I don't really want to save this at this point because that moisture is going to cause probably mold or something to develop with our spices here. Because what's keeping them safe is they're dry normally. But it could be bacteria, it could be a number of things, but yeah, it'll probably be mold. And so, yeah, I don't really want to, especially now that I've dripped my hand in there, but... So I'm trying to think of something that I can maybe use that, maybe I'll use that in the next couple of nights here, with like some eggs or something. Because I'm planning the rest of these bagels basically for breakfasts. So... That's weird. I doubt it is on your screen, but on my screen here, my bot beat the other bot. Because what I have going on there with my dinner command is I have one bot with a timer saying dinner, and then I have the other bot waiting for anyone to write dinner. And the one waiting beat out the other one somehow. I could use it with a crust, I could use it with some eggs, I could use it... It would be great for like an omelet. I mean, just a simple egg omelet with everything seasoning. That'd be awesome. Add a little bit of crunch. It'd be good. Maybe a little hot sauce with that. Oh yeah. Talk about simple, easy, good. Food doesn't have to be... I got into an argument with someone a couple days ago. Because they were looking to do something simple. I do a lot of complicated stuff here on stream because I'm trying to hang out and spend a little while doing something. It's an activity for the day for me. But if you're just looking... There's so many simple things that you could do just to eat well. I've had a number of people do that. I might do a Sunday breakfast stream. I've certainly done breakfast for dinner on several occasions. But I have some people that have mentioned doing... Like, I know some people that do Sunday morning streams, like Mr. and Mrs. A, who, they never seem to be able to be awake or up to catch my stream, but they're egging me on to do a morning one because it's their hours. They're out in Europe somewhere. It's been 10 minutes now almost. Take a look. Those need a little bit longer. Oops. So I'm actually going to give those a full 15. I'm going to steal a piece of pastrami while we're waiting. Pastrami. There's a number of stuff that want to do for breakfast too, because I got that new griddle. So I have a griddle now that I can do pancakes. Instead of doing them in a cast iron pan, I can do them on a cast iron griddle. But I've done waffles several times on stream. I've done waffles and fried chicken a couple of times on stream too. I do love my cast iron. It's not a cult. It's a lifestyle. In fact, I'm tweeting that right now. Done and done. I didn't do a going live tweet, so I guess that's my going live tweet. 2-3 hours later. See how we're looking on our battle here. Ooh, only 4 minutes till our battle. That was quick. Last chance for the last unit on the field. Okay. Another minute and a half. Starting to smell the bagels. That's good. Still don't have the color I want. I'm gonna crank this oven. I'm gonna give them another 3 minutes, and I crank the oven up to 500. I did post earlier this morning that I was doing bagels tonight, but I just didn't do a... I'm live now. I do have it set up. It works out pretty well. I have a starting and stopping button on my Stream Deck, which allows me to start streaming and recording at once. Make sure I'm starting off on the right screen and stuff like that. But it also changes the name tag on my Twitter profile. So whenever I'm live here on Twitch, it shows as my name tag as being live on Twitter. So if anyone sees my tweets while I'm live, it shows me as being live. Back to a minute and a half again. That wasn't what I wanted. That's a slicer. I wanted my bread knife. Which I think that is, yep. Caramelized onion. Battle time! Let's do the battle. See how we do here. Oliviera going after all those ranged. Wow, that was a close one. Victory! We almost wiped on that one. Our ranged saved us. Tyza Alvaria with the kills, me with the assists. Leo Zio and Suki with the scrolls. Congrats. Boss defeated. Awesome. So we're going to leave things there for tonight. And we'll be starting in on the chip-based maps here apparently next stream on Sunday. When we're coming back for... Going to be doing... What am I doing on Sunday again? I'm looking forward to Sunday. I've already forgotten what I'm doing on Sunday. I said it earlier. Anyways, you guys can now take a look at these. Which I pulled these out. Which they're still a little light for my taking, but I don't want to roast the crap out of them either. We do get some light color going on here. Around the edges and that sort of a thing. I think we're good. Definitely going to make my holes a little bit larger next time, work the dough a little bit more. And yeah, I'm probably going to change up the flour the next time I do this. Use something with a little less protein so it doesn't stay so solid and one doesn't proof as easy. So let's make some dinner. start with one of our everything bagels with the... It's got a nice bake on the bottom. We got some nice color on the top. It just didn't evenly color as much as I would normally. And pretty dense too. I would have liked a little bit more aeration there. It does feel nice and soft, so it's not like it's super dense, but it's not as airy as I want at the same time. So we'll do our cheap pastrami. And I actually think I'm going to use the caramelized onions with this guy since we got some extras. I was planning on using the pickled with this, but I think that's going to be tasty like that. And do we go... Let's do 2 everythings. They're cooked through. Got a nice bottom on that guy. Appropriate amount of cream cheese. I'll take a nice full slice of smoked salmon here. Don't have any capers. I'm not really a big caper fan to begin with, but do have a little green onion. Don't have any chives either. Chives would be my first choice. There we go. Caramelized onion and pastrami. Smoked salmon and onion. Pickled onion. A little cream cheese on that guy too. Let's give you a main screen close-up of the deliciousness. Oops. take a photo here for my own, for the Instagrams. Instagram and awesome. Photo of all these other bagels. Let's see who we can pass the fun off to tonight. Obviously would like to thank you guys for joining me tonight. Thank you for all the lovely Stream Raiders battles. You need a review? Let's give you a review. Don't like using my bread knife on my plate. It's a good way to get a good mark on your plate. But that looks like a decent bagel to me. Oh yeah. Everything seasoning. That's tasty. Let's give this guy a try too. This one with the cream cheese. Don't know if I've had a warm bagel. Well, I probably have. I don't remember having a warm bagel with cream cheese before. But our smoked salmon, cream cheese, everything bagel. Wow, that brings back memories. That majorly brings back, like, just out of high school, like, community college, picking up bagels in the morning. That was good. So as before, gonna be doing roast chicken here tomorrow, or on Sunday. Gonna do another spatchcock chicken and mashed potato, sort of comfort dinner food. I'm gonna match that. It's gonna be National Hot Buttered Rum Day, and I have not tried making hot buttered rum, so we're gonna try real hot buttered rum here on Sunday. I showed you guys twice today the vote going on in Discord. That seems to be going well. Looking like it's going to be cheese balls, but maybe it'll be charcoal. Going to be fun either way. I'm going to pass the party on here to fellow Team Bone-In culinary streamer. Very fun streamer. I've rated him a couple of times now, but I enjoy going back there, so... He's also a mod for a couple of food and drink streamers here, so he's a good guy. I hope you give him a warm welcome for me, and enjoy his stream. Eatering is always a lot of fun, so I'm gonna finish enjoying these bagels. I hope you have a great night, and we'll be back here on Sunday. Sorry, Botita. Yeah, we're wrapping up things we had everything bagels. We had cinnamon nutmeg and raisin bagels, and caramelized onion bagels. That was tonight's dinner. Today is National Bagel Day, so we're celebrating the holiday. Thank you guys for joining me once again. Be back on Sunday. Hope to see you then. Hope you guys enjoy hanging out with Eaterin'.